You know, there's always a balance between light and dark, evil and good, happiness and sadness. So in this one, we're going to be talking about how the good is flourishing in a land of darkness. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions. Now I gotta say, kind of piggybacking off my last video that I did, how darkness is rising in Hollywood, I'm gonna be discussing how light is growing in Hollywood. Let's get into it. So in this episode, I'm gonna be talking about my trip over to WonderCon, and right before I left for WonderCon, I made a video talking about the darkness and evils that's over in Hollywood, California, as far as for in the movie industry. Gee, man, what's going on in the world? But over in WonderCon itself, I would have to say I experienced the good that Hollywood brings, the good that, every industry comes with, and that's you, the people, the consumer of all the movies, the fans, everything that's out there. And I have to say that right there gives me a lot of hope as far as for where we stand as a people. Now, for those of you who don't know, WonderCon is just like Comic-Con, just a little bit smaller in Anaheim, California. So we ended up flying, I have to say, about six or 7 years, since the last time I've actually flown on a plane. So we got ready and everything after work, and we started making our way over to the airport.
Having one last smoke, one more prayer before we go on our trip over to California. Gonna be flying there with the Eagles and the Thunder Beams. It's gonna be raining, so looking forward to it. Very excited. So just got done editing a video. It's already posted on there and everything. So I'm all tushy, I'm all bushy right here. So keep you updated. Stay tuned.
So I actually made a post on Instagram doing a poll seeing if I would get stopped by TSA and if they would check my braids. So cast your vote right now down below in the comments if I'm gonna be stopped by TSA or not.
Got the check-in bag now. Going through security now. See how it goes. See who wins the bet. If I get my hair checked or not.
If you voted down below that I didn't get my hair checked, you are correct. It was pretty funny because I used to travel a lot when I was first starting out my solar industry job a couple years ago, and every time we would fly somewhere, I would always get stopped by TSA, say, hey, can we check your braids? Hey, can we make sure, I don't know why they wanted to stop me for my braids. I was like, I don't know, you fit a knife in here? I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, So it's always such an anxiety and nervous feeling whenever you go through TSA and everything like that. It's always kind of creepy and all that stuff. It was the first time me traveling actually with my film equipment and everything, so they didn't give me no trouble. I was just like, hey, I got some film equipment in here, and they're like, yeah, just put it in a different bin. I was like, okay, did that. They're like, you're good. I was like, looked around, I was like, you don't want to stop me? Am I good? It was a new experience for me because that's the first time in a long time that I've actually didn't get stopped by TSA.
Just landed. It's a good trip. Nice and quick, really good. I got the front row seat, so I got some leg room now.
So we ended up getting picked up by Henry San Miguel over at Geek Speak Show, and I want to give him a shout out to him and his family for putting us up in their home and just always having a great time with them. And so we ended up getting rest for the next day.
Good morning. It's the first day of WonderCon. I'm official. I'm press. I'm that way. We're gonna go cosplay. Cosplaying as a native right now. Just kidding. But yeah, first day here, kind of cloudy, beautiful day in that way. So I hope you guys have a good day. Let's go. We're going right now. Come on.
After 4 years, the Geek Speak Show is back at WonderCon Anaheim, and the new voice that you hear, you get to see the person behind the voice.
So we're gonna spread some democracy in this. How you feeling, Henry?
Hungry, extremely hungry. And we just got here too.
Yeah.
What does that say?
How you feeling, Isaac?
Pretty hungry too.
Yeah.
We spoke and we talked, and he was just like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and you're gonna be doing some interviews tomorrow. Are you ready? You're gonna be, just you and the mic and the person you're gonna be interviewing by yourself without me or anybody else to help you out. It's live, it's action. Freak it, we'll do it live.
No, we'll do it live. F it.
So yeah, it was pretty. I've been to WonderCon last year, but we went as just participants. We didn't go as media. So going this year was really. It was different because we were actually kind of going there for a purpose. These events that you go to, a lot of people go for so many different reasons. But for me, going there for a specific reason and going there for a purpose really made it a lot more enjoyable. It's a lot of vendors, a lot of people that show up there. You get your tickets online, you do a check-in right here, and yeah, here's some of those clips from WonderCon.
Welcome to the world of the last Romanian. Okay. So, I'm gonna do a test run. Hey everybody, my name is Shanclen and I'm here at the booth of the Last Lumanian. So this is an interactive booth that they're gonna be doing some cool stuff over here. And yeah. So I get up to a certain point and then I gotta get it going.
Look, I didn't know you were coming. I don't know who you are and I don't care. And how dare you say that I'm a spy?
What's up, WonderCon? It's the Geek Speak Show at WonderCon. We're back again, like I said, and with me here is Cosplay, is author of the Last Lumania book series.
Oh, so there's so many different kinds of people there, and there's cosplayers, there's people that are just fans of the show, and over at these events, you get to actually meet some of the people behind the scenes that put together the movies. And pretty much get to ask and interview if you really want to be able to get their autographs or ask them how they brought their vision to life. And that right there was one of the most exciting things that I was able to do. Was I'd be able to ask these creators how they were able to bring their masterpieces to the big screen. And which leads me to my first interview. So my first interview was, let me emphasize, this is my first in-person interview. I kind of slipped up a little bit, and in the beginning when I kind of messed up their name. So I was able to meet the composers of music composers for Avatar: The Last Airbender. And see, I just did it right there. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the music composers for the animated and live action series. And it was really cool because we were the only ones in the room to be able to interview them, and before they went on their panel to kind of speak in front of an audience. And I have to say, it's an art form to do interviews. It's really, there's a lot to it. You don't think that there's a lot to it, but what I've learned is the setup before the interview, getting like the nervous feeling off of them. Because when you go and interview somebody, there's always that nervous feeling like, what kind of questions is this person going to ask? Can I trust them? Are they going to, toss me in the deep end and ask me questions I don't want to answer, put me in an uncomfortable situation? So there's always that kind of nerve-wracking situation. But it was really interesting to be able to be in their presence and just feel, their energies that they had. And when they spoke about the music and their passions about creating the music for this animated series. And it was pretty funny because I did Avatar: The Last Airbender live action review, and, we brought up Leaves on the Vine. And ultimately, both those music composers found that song was very, very beautiful and their favorites that they've ever made for the series. So going off of that one, So we finished up that interview, and oh my God, I felt so nervous. You know, after I felt like I really messed up and everything when I, you know, misspoke. How I said it was, I was like, Avatar, the Last Airbender is what I said. And I was just like, oh no. And so I felt really bad for it, but rewatching it, you know, it went really good. And it was a really interesting interview. So we ended up walking around WonderCon the rest of the day. And from there, we got ready for the next day. And the next interview, this was okay, you know, the whole process of doing the setup before the interview. So it's like, okay, introduce yourself, your name, and your role in the movie and all that stuff. So we ended up interviewing some actors and directors for the upcoming movie called Umroayyar, which is a Pakistani movie that's going to be coming out too. So what really spoke out to me, actually, you know, I'm wearing the pendant that they gave me. So it's maybe I'll give you a little close up on that one a little bit later. But it was really interesting. And when Henry did the first 2 interviews with Ali and the director of the show, and it was really interesting to kind of hear them talk about the movie. And the whole premise of the movie is pretty much bringing their folk tales that they have over there to the big screen. And that really spoke out to me because that's something I really want to do for our teachings and our stories that we have in our tribe. So I looked at Henry and I told him, I was just like, hey, can I do an interview? Can I do an interview with these guys? He's like, yeah, go ahead. So my interview that I did was with Farhan Tahir. And this guy, when he first walked into the room, I was just like, I know this guy. I've seen him before. And yeah, he was one of the villains on Iron Man, the first one. So I was just like, oh, that's so cool, you know? So I didn't know at the time, but I just knew I've seen him in a movie before. So he was honestly really brought to light, you know, the passion of what he's doing. He plays the villain inside of the movie. And yeah, check out some of the interview right here.
Exactly. I think that the responsibility falls squarely on our own shoulders to tell our stories.
Yeah.
You know, nobody else can, and nobody else can do it as well as we can.
Yeah.
So I think it's our responsibility to bring it to the world.
Yes.
And yeah, you're doing it, we're doing it, and hopefully, you know, it'll bring some good into this
Maybe
world.
we can collab in the future, you know, our cultures all meet together.
I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of similarities if you look at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love talking with people from all over the world, talking about our cultures, you know, where we come from and our ancient creation stories that we all had. And there are a lot of awesome similarities, and just it's really cool to be connected with somebody spiritually in that way, you know, and everything.
Because
So
I think in the end, what we keep forgetting is that, look, in the end, we're humans.
yeah.
Everything else can wait.
Yeah.
Right? So let's connect on each other on a human level, respect that, and celebrate the differences.
Yeah.
Not make them walls.
Yeah.
But make them something to celebrate.
That's exactly what I always try to preach, you know. It's just like, you know, everybody has their own stories. Everybody comes from different places. Don't love them for it. Embrace it. Yeah.
So after this interview, you know, I was like, okay, cool. I'm feeling really good. So the person that is pretty much organizing all the interviews and everything for the actors to schedule out their day, he told us, he's like, okay, let's go talk with the executive producer for the show. So we ended up going downstairs and going down to their booth, and I did an interview with her there as well. And that's where she gave me a really cool hat. That's where I got this pendant right here too. And yeah, it was honestly really amazing to meet these people who have a singular goal to help bring their culture to the big screen, to bring interest to the younger generation. And I was like, oh, yes, that's exactly what I've been really wanting to do. So that was the second day that we had. This was on Saturday. But while we were waiting, it was pretty interesting. While we were waiting in the press room, yeah, we're resting up, you know, because carrying this new camera rig, it's pretty heavy out there. So while we were waiting on there, somebody actually pulled the fire alarm while we were there in the convention center.
We lost Isaac.
You were the chosen one.
He's alive.
Hey, Rushy.
Henry, if anybody asks, I didn't have a smoke break outside.
Now it was pretty wild because it's just like I've never actually had a fire alarm pulled on me like outside of school and everything. So like, you know, you had those fire alarm drills in school growing up and all that. So this is the first time I was just like, oh, make your way to the nearest exit, and the fire alarms were going off. I was like, is this a drill? Is this is this real? So we ended up making our way all the way down, but I guess as a false alarm. So we ended up after we made our way all the way down from the 3rd floor to the bottom floor, we're right when we got there, they were just like, okay, you guys can go back in. We're like, so we ended up making our way back up. But afterwards, the next day on Sunday, this was the day I was getting ready to fly back out. But this right here was one of those things where I was like, okay, do I go? Because it was one of those things, we didn't really have any interviews scheduled out. Henry wanted to be able to interview some booth panels that he didn't get to the previous day. So I was like, yeah, I'll go, just experience one more day. So I didn't bring my camera or anything. And I regret not bringing my camera. Reason is because we were going to a Star Trek panel booth and Henry was about to do an interview, but then I hear,
This is for all you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights. No one quits. You don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Do you get me? We get you, sir!
and I was just like, okay. Is there some cosplayers? Because I saw some Federation soldiers walking around that were cosplaying as Starship Troopers. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe they're reenacting it over here. But then, I turn the corner and I actually see Rico himself, the hero of the Federation. His real name's Casper Van Dien. So, for those of you out there who don't really know, it's Starship Troopers was my first rated R movie that I've ever watched. And, it was one of those movies that's definitely tied with Star Wars as far as for movies that really made me inspired for sci-fi and getting into this whole lore of everything that's with space travel, space wars, and just fighting arachnids and everything. It was so cool kind of growing up, the gore and all that stuff. It was just action. And, it was to be able to meet him in person. Now, that's the thing that's kind of weird is when you meet these people in person, they always say don't ever want to meet your idols. But I have to say, I was really glad to meet Casper Van Dien because we showed up there and he was actually doing a push-up challenge with somebody. I was like, dang, this dude still got it, man. So, we waited in the line until it was our turn. And I was like, hey, I'm with the Geek Speak show. How would you feel about doing a little interview? And he was just like, yeah, let's do it. So here's that interview.
Oh, hey everybody, my name is Shanclen here with the Geek Speak Show, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Casper Van Dien, welcome to the Roughnecks.
Oh.
Welcome to the Geek Speak Show. Yes, well, he doesn't really need an introduction. Everybody, I told you a little bit earlier that you were my first rated R movie that I actually seen. And I just have to say, the legacy that you've built with this movie and the other movies that you've done as well, you don't need an introduction when people see you. It's very awesome and amazing to be able to meet you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So how does it feel after all these years? Your movie that you made for Starship Troopers is still so relevant to all of us, and the younger generation like myself finally of age, to be able to meet you like this.
I think it's awesome that it's the movie's got longevity. I think it's a tribute to Paul Verhoeven, who's an amazing director, and Phil Tippett, who's amazing visual effects, Sean Basin, great producer, Alan Marshall, great producer, and Ed Neumeyer, an incredible writer who also wrote RoboCop. So
Yeah.
they're the team behind that, and for me, that just made it so exciting for me. I think that it's unfortunate that it's still it's still relevant politically. This film, the undertones and things. It's unfortunate that it's still that, but it's got some chops in it. They're really smart people, and they know how to make a film.
Yeah, it was definitely at my age when I saw this movie, I understood what it was. And, it was how you were talking about the satire and everything with it, It's really stuck with me throughout all these years, and especially in the gaming industry as well. Yep. So I've actually played the new Starship Troopers game that come out, Starship Troopers Extermination, and all those other ones too. And there's also a new game that's kind of come out with Helldivers too. So what's your input on that one as well?
I love that there's so much, I love that the people behind Helldivers 2 tributed Starship Troopers. I love that you're playing Starship Troopers Extermination. I'm involved with that now, and they're going to do a hard release of that in October, I think.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be complete then. I know they did a beta release, a soft release, and it was all not fully complete, but it's a 14-person shooter. I love that there's still this much love for this movie. That it can have the fan base in the video game circuit. I always thought they should have done it. And when Halo came out, I was like, you guys missed the boat. See, I told you should have been doing a game.
Exactly.
And then there's always been so many things that have just come up that have been similar to it.
Yeah,
it was a great book, and it was I think even better movie.
From being a little kid running around on the reservation with sticks reenacting your movie and everything, to meeting you in person. I think it's really awesome.
Oh, it's an honor.
So thank you so much. And
thank you.
And thank you, everybody. So do you have any social medias or anything coming up you'd like to share with the audience?
Just Casper Van Dien, at Casper Van Dien on Instagram and Twitter X or whatever you call it now.
Yeah.
Facebook is me. So Casper Van Dien.
Awesome. Well, thank
That guy up there.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on the Geek Speak Show, and it's an honor to meet you, man.
You too, brother. Thank you.
So after the interview, I got one of his autographs, and I was just like, yes, you know, I actually got it signed and everything. So actually, after the interview, I got this. There's a portrait of Rico. He actually gave me, signed my name. He says, welcome to the Roughnecks. And I was just like, you should have seen me. I was like carrying it around like this because the pen ink was a little wet. So I had to wait for it to dry, and it was raining outside. So I was carrying it around like this, kind of like the Holy Grail in my hands. I was like, so I was like, the heaven of God was lighting me up and everything, walking around. So it was awesome to really meet him in person, and just, you know, it's just such an icon to me growing up and everything. So we ended up finishing up WonderCon, but while we were there, you know, we also got to meet Wally.
Oh, that's so cool.
We also got to meet R2D2.
That's so cool.
And all these other robotics, and they have these guilds too, like kind of cosplay guilds that you can actually join up as yourself. They have the Mandalorian, 501st Legion, you know, they have Harry Potter, and so many other guilds that are out there.
Oh, not P, everybody. So we're over here with the Geek Speak Show. So this is who I've been with, Henry, San Miguel, with the Geek Speak Show. You guys probably heard me on Navo Nerdy News. So yeah, I'm just here with these guys to help them out with their coverage and their stories and everything. So be sure to go check them out at the Geek Speak Show and everything. So yeah, I'll be on there too. You guys will probably see me on there with a couple of interviews. So yeah, this is the last day of WonderCon here. We're wrapping up a couple of interviews that we have with these booths. So see you guys in the next one. Woo.
But just being around everybody, being around all the fans, the people that love these shows and these movies, and the lore behind it, it was amazing to be able to be in a group of like-minded people who weren't scared to like kind of show their nerdiness and everything. It was kind of growing up on the res. If you were kind of nerdy or whatever, you know, they kind of make fun of you and all that stuff. So going there and me actually doing interviews to be able to let out that's my side of my nerdy side and everything was really awesome and cool, and such a refreshing feeling that is so out of the norm for me as far as for how I grew up, and to be able to just express myself fully without even hiding, you know, any emotions like that. So it was really awesome to be able to meet the music composers, you know, actors and directors from Umroayyar, and to be able to meet Rico himself, a veteran of the industry, and, you know, to make a movie that was back in 1997 or 98, and for it to be so relevant today with all the video games and all that stuff. So, you know, this one was a lot lighter than previous years from what I'm told, but we're planning on going to Comic-Con this year as well, which is going to have a lot more actors and directors and everything. So I get to really practice out my, you know, my interview skills. Yeah. So I heard that one's going to be a lot more crazy, but I'm looking forward to it, you know. With me going down the production side of things and wanting to make movies and delving into this world, you know, you, the people, you, the fans, are going to be the reason why I carry forward and carry that light with me wherever I go, you know. And it was beautiful to see that. And, you know, there is darkness, there is evils in Hollywood and everything, but you, the people, you, the fans, like how I said before, are bringing forth the light that brings everything, the purpose into this industry. And, you know, you guys are the reasons why I continue doing what I'm doing. You know, there's a lot of people out there who enjoy what I do, and, you know, there's so much more out there that I have willing to show and teach. So I'm looking really forward to it. I just finished up my birthday this past weekend. Yeah, 27 years. Yeah, in this world. And yeah, so it's been good. You know, it's been a journey, I can say. You know, learned a lot and everything. So like I said, there always has to be that balance between good and evil. So that's why I'm making this video of light shining on Hollywood, and you, the people, are the ones that are shining the beacon. The beacons are minutes that are lit. I'm just kidding. No. So yeah, I'm gonna be probably doing a live stream this week. So if you guys haven't yet, go check out my Instagram, official Shanclen SSP. That one is where I keep all my updates for future episodes and live streams and everything. I'll be making maybe a Facebook post too. Yeah. So, but if you guys seen that picture of me on a horse, that's coming up on a future episode too. But I'm gonna be doing a paranormal video, probably talking about shadow spirits and shadow beings this coming Friday or maybe next week. We'll see. I've been very busy doing interviews and everything like that. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. But I hope they give. But I hope you guys have a good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions and joining me on my journey back to WonderCon 2024. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hug on it.
So let's bend our way to, see what I did there? Let's bend our way to Avatar. Now, what inspired you to write the songs that we hear in this show?
Well, I have to say, you know, I'm really good at making music, and the paycheck really, you know, couldn't say no to. So it's one of those things I just did it. You know, ran with it, I really loved it.
Yeah, the paycheck is pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bigger than last one. Billions of dollars. How long was did you start writing the songs?
Actually, I told them I would have it a couple months before, but I procrastinated and had it the day before release. So yeah, it actually came out pretty good, and I didn't even do it myself. I hired some other team to do it, but I had my name on it.
Oh yeah, that's how. Did you use the real instruments, or is it all digital?
AI, 100%.
That's studied.
Here, bravo.
For those of you who don't know, this is one of my wizard pipes that I have for tobacco. It's actually a Lord of the Rings pipe. Yeah.